everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany Reacts Show, and on this show we talk all things entertainment news and movie news. Today we have some good things to talk about. Not a ton, but like some smaller, more interesting stories. Not a lot like huge news going on in entertainment right now, gotta be honest, but I have like a good show for us to talk about at least. But I do want to say hi to everyone who's in the chat. Hi IAARPOTI. Hi Scorpio Shadow. Hi Cheyenne. Hi Miss Olsen. Hi Me Love. Hi Prototype. Hi Adrian. Hi Shelly Lee. Hi Rachel. Hi Cheetah Viper. Hi Brandon. Hi Blue Gecko Nerd. Hi Francisco. And thank you to each and every one of you who comes to my show every day. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So it seems like they're going to make more Jurassic World sequels, or at least like more movies in that franchise. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised. I'm not, obviously they're like, well, I guess the Chris Pratt movies are over, but it doesn't mean the franchise has to be done, because you know, they're going to milk that franchise until it's absolutely dry. Mean Girls unfortunately did suffer a big drop in its second weekend. I did talk a lot about the fact that it's a musical last week and how people were surprised by that, so that probably had an effect. Plus, Mr. Beast is joining Hollywood. He's kind of merging his YouTube channel with the streaming service, and I think that's really interesting and could be a sign of things to come for how Hollywood could be evolving in this new digital landscape. How has your weekend been, though? Oh, I know, Cheetah Viper. I do want to say, off the top, I did say this in my last live stream, but for those who may not have seen it, I am going to be posting a lot less on this channel. I won't be posting like single videos or even as many live streams anymore. I am moving on to new horizons for the most part. I'm mostly keeping this channel as like a hobby to come back and talk about things that interest me, like Dune or something like that. This is actually the last week we're going to have live streams during the week, and then after that the schedule will change. So I'm so sorry. I know you guys, or at least some of you guys, will be very disappointed. You guys have been my most loyal audience in the chat, so I just want to thank you guys for appreciating and supporting the channel so much for so long. I can't even tell you how much it has meant, so I just want to say thank you all a lot. Any other questions or concerns before we get into the actual news topics? I know Mean Girls did deserve better. I told you guys in my review, I actually liked the movie. I know a lot of people didn't. Like, I'm seeing so many thumbnails and YouTube videos of people, like, people that I like to watch that are like, oh, this movie's terrible. And I'm like, oh man, I actually like this one. Oh, you're starting your second semester at uni, Scorpio Shadow? Well, I hope you enjoy it. I remember when I was new at university. That was fun. Fun times. Oh, thank you, CD Woods. I'm sorry, Shelly. Thank you so much, Shelly. You've been so generous this whole time. I can't thank you enough, honestly. Oh, Miss Olsen. You guys are so kind. Oh, here's your birthday next week, Blue Gecko Nerd. Oh, happy almost birthday. It's because of you we did the whole stream, so that was your early birthday gift. Anyways, let's get to the entertainment news. The first thing I wanted to share with you, like, we've been getting some promo images from basically the new Avatar series that's coming on Netflix, and I have to say, I think these promo images look very, very good. Like, this poster, to me, looks dope. I don't know. I'm actually kind of getting hopeful for this. I'm thinking maybe Netflix actually pulled this off. I mean, it wasn't an easy task. This is not an easy show to adapt. And you have an already rabid fan base that has all these expectations. And you had a previous adaptation that was not well received at all. So this was not an easy, thing to do for them. And I have to say, I've been quite impressed with all of the still images we've gotten so far. I like the costumes. I like the makeup. I think it looks a lot more real and lived in than what we got in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, that's for sure. Anyone liking this poster? Anyone still very much looking forward to Avatar? I believe the show comes out next month. Yeah, February 22nd. Anyone gonna watch it? Oh, Oh, you're not going to watch it, CD Woods? Aw. Blue Gecko Nerd's excited, though. Aw, thank you, Danielle. And Rachel. Hayton says, of course the new Mean Girls movie flopped. You know what? I think if the Mean Girls movie had the original cast again, and it was just a direct sequel, it would have done a lot better. You've never seen Avatar, Hannah. Oh my gosh, if you have not seen Avatar The Last Airbender, go watch that show. It's so good. The original animated series, not the movie. It's really, really good. Scorpio Shadow says, the poster looks good, but I'm still afraid for how it's going to go, but I will watch it. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. I'm genuinely rooting for it. There's, like, very few things I feel like have been coming out lately that I've been, like, gaga over, so I'm just going into this being hopeful. At least the marketing has been good. Moving on. So, Godzilla -1. We've been talking a lot about Godzilla -1 on my channel because I really liked the movie, and it's been a huge success story at the box office, even though they had no marketing budget to speak of, and they were essentially like, basically people were saying this budget was only $15 million, or even less than $15 million. There were even rumors out there that this movie cost just $13 million. And like, there were so many people, including myself, like, how in the world did they make this entire movie for so little? Well, now we know how. Apparently, they just put a lot of work on very few people. So they only have 35 visual effects artists for the entire movie and completed 610 shots for the film. That's insane. That is not normal or healthy for, like, the average person. This means that each person was responsible for, like, a good chunk of the movie. Not just a couple of shots or a few scenes, but like a whole chunk of the movie. Do you know how insane and how much work that must have been for each person? And then for the budget to still be that low, that means they also must not have been paid that well. I mean, dang. I have to say, I like the budget was responsible and low for this movie, but if this is how they got it done, if this is how they were able to do that, and get that low budget, then maybe there's got to be a happy medium, because, oh man, that must have been rough. Rough for those visual effects workers, man. Do not envy that. Francisco has still never seen Godzilla -1. Oh, you guys should watch it. You would really like it. Disney needs to take notes. Well, apparently Disney is already mistreating their visual effects workers, but their budgets are still high, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know how long it took to make these shots. Cheetah Viper says, sounds like Japan. Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of does. Namor7 says, tip of the hat to those talented VFX artists. Talent speaks for itself. I mean, truly. I mean, you wouldn't know by watching this movie that it only cost like $15 million. Truly, the budget's completely different. Where does the money go? Well, I think in this movie, you can clearly see where all the money went. In Disney movies, on the other hand, yeah, you can't always tell where the money goes. Or even their TV shows, either. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, if they were going to make an Avatar The Last Airbender-oriented reboot revival, they shouldn't have just made it a 3D animated show. Well, the original creators of Avatar actually, once they left the Netflix series, went to Paramount to set up Avatar Studios. So we actually are getting an animated Avatar movie, but it's coming out next year, and it's completely separate from the Netflix series. So I'm looking forward to both projects, honestly. Yeah, it's a very unhealthy work ethic for sure. But at least we know how it was so cheap now, unfortunately. Moving on. So this one I thought was kind of crazy, because we've been talking a lot on my channel how Hollywood's doing all these adaptations and reboots now, and how they like to change them a lot and modernize them, only to like take out everything that we originally liked about what they're adapting in the first place. Well, I don't know what studio this is for. It might be for Paramount, but it sounds like we're getting another Wizard of Oz remake, but it's going to have a spin to it. Instead of it being focused on Dorothy and Oz, it's going to focus on a girl who lives in Bottoms, which is a huge apartment complex located in Inglewood, California. So we're getting a much more urbanized take on the Wizard of Oz story. Anyone looking forward to Straight Out of Inglewood, Wizard of Oz. I'm sorry, this just seems so random. Like, is this really fitting for the story? I mean, we already have The Wiz. Like, we have The Wiz, so are you just gonna redo The Wiz? Why don't you just call it The Wiz? I don't know, man. Anyone interested in this? Anyone think this kind of weird modern update would work? Again, thank you, Shelley Lee. We already did this. It's called The Wiz. Just call it The Wiz. Is it a musical? I'm sure it is a musical. I mean, it should be. The original was. Miss Player says, isn't that the CGI animated Return of Oz movie? I never saw the animated Return of Oz movie. I heard it was really bad, so I didn't want to see it. I don't know. Very, very curious. I mean, if they just said this, we're going to do a new version of The Wiz, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. But they're saying this is specifically Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, wait, no, it's not the same thing. Shelley Lee says, now, if you want to set it in Puerto Rico, we got something. What? Let's have a Puerto Rican Dorothy, sure, why not? Let's just change everything. I mean, at this point, just call it something else. Who's going to be the Wicked Witch? I have no idea. Jovic, I'm with you. I'm very interested in the Wicked movies. I'm very curious to see how all the Ariana Grande drama is going to affect this movie. I don't know if it's going to affect it at all, but like, I don't know. I just see so much hate towards Ariana right now on the internet because of the baby mama drama. So I don't know if that drama is going to carry over to Wicked and like cast a shadow over the movie, but we'll see. I'm still looking forward to it personally. It is very odd. But I had to share this with you guys. It was almost WTF news because I was just like, WTF. But moving on. So we're getting a Michael Jackson biopic, and we have our first image here. And actually, I can't believe this is a still from the movie. This looks like a real old photograph, so they did a pretty good job there. But it's actually going to star Michael Jackson's own nephew, Jafar Jackson. So I'm very, very curious to see how well this does. I think that, honestly, the reason we're getting all these biopics on all these musicians is because Bohemian Rhapsody made almost $1 billion a couple of years ago. And so they've been trying to throw out all of these biopics by all of these major stars in these past couple of years, trying to recapture that magic. But not a single one has been able to come close to doing what Bohemian Rhapsody did. So I'm curious, can the Michael Jackson biopic beat the Bohemian Rhapsody biopic? I mean, who else is bigger than Queen, you know? Not many people are also on Queen's level. I'm also wondering, whenever they get around to that Madonna biopic, how well is the Madonna biopic? I actually think a Britney Spears biopic, especially the one based on her book, I actually think a Britney Spears biopic would print money. I guarantee that one would make more than Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know about Michael Jackson, but I'm very curious. What do you guys think? Hannah thinks it's interesting. Jafar, like the Aladdin villain? I mean, I guess so. Oh, Helixier says, I'm tired of biopics. They all suck ass. Well, I mean, we have been getting a lot of biopics recently. That's true. I don't think it's going to be black and white. At least not the whole movie. I don't know why this photo is in black and white. I think they were just trying to make it look like an old photo, which they did successfully. It looks real. Helixier says, rewriting histories and the personality of legends is so annoying. That's true. I mean, I don't think they can tell the real story of his life because it's most likely X-rated, as most Hollywood celebrities are. But it's gonna be like the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, where it's a very sanitized, clean, PG-13 version of his life. I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna get. Evil Connor agrees about the Britney biopic. Yeah, I think that'd be really good. A Jeanette McCurdy biopic. I would love that, actually. I would be super into that. Oh God, so dumb. Miss Player says, isn't Michael Jackson... Oh, yeah, he does have, the issue with his skin where he had vitiligo. I think they're just going to focus on the era of his life where he still had darker skin. I don't know if they're going to travel into the era of his life where his vitiligo is taking over. Oh my god, Arvin wants a biopic of Jonathan Majors directed by Taika Waititi. That will make $0, Arvin. It will just automatically flop. Just no money. Free Rocket Man was also a good biopic. I like that one too. This player says, I can't wait to see how they would handle Michael and his controversy. I don't think they're gonna even bring it up, to be honest. Like I said, I don't think they're gonna go past the 80s. That would be my guess. You don't know about the Britney biopic. Why not? I think that'd be really good. Miranda Cosgrove as Michael Jackson, y'all. Again, y'all never take anything serious. This is why I like y'all. Anyway, I'm very curious to see how well this does. Again, if anything can beat the Queen biopic, it would be the Michael Jackson biopic. If anyone else couldn't do it, it'd be like maybe Madonna? Although, I don't know. But I actually think Britney Spears is the most likely one to do it, just because she's still very relevant and alive. Moving on, though. So, speaking of relevant and still alive, I don't know. I don't know why I had that as my transition. That was just the first thing that came to my head. But anyway, discussing film put it, known transphobe J.K. Rowling is now reported to be an active exec producer on the Harry Potter series. Well, she will be involved in the show's decision making. Now, there's several layers to this. Okay, I actually think this Harry Potter reboot could do very well. I think that as someone who has read all of the books, and I was a major Harry Potter fan, still am, really. I showed you guys, I have a Harry Potter tattoo. That's how much of a fan I am. I think that there's so much that the movies had to cut from the books that doing a series based off of the movies, I think will add enough to make it new again, so that it won't just feel like we're going over the same stories. Like, particularly, like, once you get towards the later books, they left out so much from the movies that you could fill up an entire season of stuff just of, like, things that they cut from the books. So I actually think a series could do well if they cast the series well. I feel bad for those child actors, whoever they cast, because they're going to be compared to, the original trio, which is not fair. But I hope that they protect those kids the way that the original crew protected the original cast. And the other thing, I don't think that the J.K. Rowling controversy will affect this show at all. Just because the game, the Hogwarts Legacy game, did super, super well last year. It was, in fact, the highest selling video game of the year. So, try not to be... I don't want to upset anyone. I'm just trying to state facts here. I think the controversy around J.K. Rowling is largely online. It hasn't really affected the brand much when it comes to, like, financial value. Like, Harry Potter still did very well last year. The video game did very well. They got a series renewed. Like, the brand is still very, very popular. So I think the show has the potential to be a massive hit despite the controversy, or because of the controversy. I think you could argue that the controversy around the video game actually helped it and helped it make, get sales. So we'll see. What do you guys think about this show? Do you think it'll be so controversial it'll flop, or do you think it won't have no effect? Do you plan on watching the show? Are you worried about it? Do you think this is dumb? Give me your honest thoughts. I'm personally excited. Shelly Lee, do not call me a nerd. We're all nerds here. If you're in this chat, you're a nerd. I hate to break it to you. Cheetah Viper says, I had such a crush on Draco. I also stayed outside Barnes & Noble till 1 a.m. to get the 7th book. I spent the night in the Barnes & Noble to get the final Harry Potter book. I did. I spent the night in a bookstore for a book. Yes, I did. And I would go back and do it again. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, I can't believe the game released last year and I still haven't got my hands on that game. I played the whole game. I think behind Detroit Become Human for my favorite video game I've ever played. It's really fun if you're a Harry Potter fan. Evil Connor will be watching. All right. Arvin says, I mean, everyone loves drama. That's the reason we are here. Exactly. I honestly think more controversy and drama would probably help the show. I'm not going to lie. Okay, Hidden Name says it might be a mid-hit. Yeah. Jovic says, but she won't do the series alone. Honestly, I hope that she doesn't, because I did not like the second Crimes of Grindelwald movie, that Fantastic Beasts series. I did not like that second movie, and she had full creative control over that script, and I thought the script was dog shit. I'm sorry. I thought the second Fantastic Beasts movie was so bad. Like, I think she's a good novelist, but being a novelist and being a good screenwriter are two different skills. And I think J.K. Rowling is a good novelist, but I don't know if I would say she knows how to write a good script, because I have not seen evidence of that. So I definitely, I mean, she's just being involved as an executive producer. It's not saying she's writing anything, but I think it's good that she's going to have other people around to help, not going to lie. Because we all know what happens when she has 100% control, and I'm not trying to watch another Crimes of Grindelwald. That was just too painful. CD Wood says, I won't watch it, but I won't hate it either. Let the next generation enjoy it. That's what I think. I think this show could introduce Harry Potter to the next generation of fans. I think that's what it could do, potentially. I am always between Ravenclaw and Slytherin. I always get placed in one of those. Scorpio Shadow says it's going to flop. Okay. I'm very, very curious. I think there will be enough interest to get enough people to watch the first episode, but I think it's going to be depending on the quality of the show if, like, people stick around. That's what I'm predicting. Twilight, yes, Twilight is also making a comeback. Everything's getting a comeback. Shuja says Harry Potter is too powerful of a brand to die at this point. Well, I don't think any brand is too powerful to die. At one point, Star Wars was bigger than Harry Potter. Yet, I would honestly argue that in 2024, Harry Potter is arguably bigger than Star Wars, when you just look at the numbers and, like, fan interest. So, any brand can decline. I don't think any brand is, like, 100% safe. I mean, look at what happened with Marvel. Marvel was untouchable for, like, a decade. Daniel, you're a Hufflepuff. Okay. Miss Player says, I could never get into Harry Potter anyway. Hunger Games is better. I liked Hunger Games too. I was in high school in the early 2010s during, like, the Tumblr era when everyone was super into, like, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Divergent, those, like, what's his name, books, like The Fault in Our Stars and all of that. That era, Super Hulock, all of that. That was my high school experience, so I was into most of that back then. Seen a lot of Hufflepuffs in my chat. What's up with all the Hufflepuffs? I mean, no offense, nothing wrong with that. Primal Plasma says, I would like to see the series because it will allow J.K. Rowling to put as much detail in the books as she does in her, into the show as she does in her books. Exactly. I mean, we never, again, this is about to be, like, in the weeds if you don't know Harry Potter, but, like, say for Order of the Phoenix, there's a whole storyline in the book about fighting, you know, for the freedom of the house elves, and, like, that whole storyline is completely missing from the movie. So, like, there's a lot that they could add to the show. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. So, Daredevil, it's looking like, again, Marvel is listening to their fans. They know what we want. The original version of this Daredevil show that they were going to give us, I don't think it was going to be good at all. From what it sounds like, they were going to give us everything that fans did not want. So I'm glad that they're redoing it, because it sounds like before they were not going to use the original fight coordinator for Netflix. But then freaking Charlie Cox had to beg. Why did he have to beg? He had to beg Marvel to get them to use, the same fight coordinator again? I mean, now that they are, I'm glad that they are, but why was that not, like, the one after Charlie Cox, like the next person on the list that they wanted to talk to. Because a lot of people like that original show, not just for Charlie Cox and Daredevil, but for the fight scenes and the action set pieces and the stunts and all of that. I mean, every time people talk about Daredevil, what do they talk about? They talk about whatever hallway scene they just saw that week or whatever. Like, I don't understand why. To me, it just seems like when they were making that original version of the Daredevil reboot, whatever they were doing with that show, they wanted to make it so different and their own thing so much. It sounds like they were just gonna like completely neuter it. So I'm glad that they're making all these changes and they're bringing on the fight coordinator, because maybe the fight scenes will actually be good this time. Brandon says, don't roast me, but what's Divergent? Aw. Divergent is an old dystopian teen flick, and it didn't even get to finish its movie franchise. It starred Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort. It was kind of like Hunger Games, but like the Diet Hunger Games. Yeah, it was really in at the time when teen dystopian fiction was huge. The Ray movie, there are rumors that the Ray movie is canceled, but just nothing confirmed yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it's canceled, though. Francisco says, honestly, I agree with you. I was interested in Marvel, like I watched something, but was not interested enough to kick it up. I mean, I'm just glad that they're finally listening to fans. It's just weird to me that it took so late. Like, so late. Like, why were they gonna not have Carrot and Foggy in the original version? Why were they not gonna bring the same stunt coordinator back? I don't know. It just seems like maybe there was a lot of hubris going on, and maybe that's Marvel's entire issue. There's a lot of hubris going on with the executives. They think they know better than everyone when maybe they should listen to fans sometimes. I don't know. But anyway, this is at least some good news here. Oh, Andy called it Dollar Store Hunger Games. Oh my god. Oh, Prototype calls Divergent the most successful Hunger Games derivative. That's hilarious. You guys are funny. Danielle says, will you cover Velma Season 2? Yes! When Velma Season 2 comes back, I'll react to it, because why the heck not? But anyway, moving on to the next topic. So Jurassic World! You guys know how I feel about the Jurassic World Dominion. Hate that movie. Hate it with a burning passion. One of my least favorite movies of all time. One of my least favorite theater experiences of all time. I think it was up there with like The Last Airbender, where when the credits started rolling, I was literally like sitting in my seat like, wow, what the heck was that? Like, I was not in a good mood throughout at least half of that movie, because I was just like, why the heck are we talking about freaking locusts and cloned little girls when I came here for freaking dinosaurs? So anyway, hated that movie. And that franchise really ended on a very terrible sour note for me personally. So I'm not surprised that they want to keep making more Jurassic World movies, and the last one made $1 billion. And the only reason that last movie made $1 billion is because the first original classic Jurassic Park movie is still so beloved and so cherished. I mean, I just saw the first Jurassic Park movie again for like the umpteenth time last year when it went back to theaters for a re-release, and it still holds up. That movie is really good. It's only because of that strength in that first movie that people keep going back to these films, because like, they are not good. I mean, the first one I actually kind of liked. The first Jurassic World, I was like, okay, this is fine. Second one, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't as good, but it's okay. Third one, I wish I had brought, something into the theater to like help me get through the movie. This movie was painful for me to watch, man. That was painful. Super painful. The Locust plot was very bad. Very, very bad. And how they treated the legacy characters, man, it was so bad. I'm glad you guys agreed Dominion was awful, because what the heck was that? And I guess, I really think that I was set off in the beginning, because I think I mentioned this before, but I had the most creepiest, weirdest ad before the movie that just like completely set the tone for me the whole time, and I was just like in a funky, weird mood. But if you ever watch a trailer from the United Nations saying how, like, humanity shouldn't go extinct and how we should fight human extinction because of climate change, and they delivered this from the mouth of some giant dinosaur. Just look up the ad. It's still on YouTube, but I had to watch it before the movie for some reason, and it just completely, like, shadowed my entire experience. Because I was just like, I'm here. I'm enjoying my day. I'm here to watch a nice, entertaining movie. And now I'm fearing for the future of the human race. Thank you. But anyway, I'm still very upset about that ad. Because I was like, the heck was that? But anyway, Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat. Woo, Jurassic Galaxy, dinosaurs in space. I guess that's where they're going to go with the next one. I mean, where else do you go with it? Like, where else do you go with the Jurassic World franchise at this point? I feel like they've explored everything you can do with this concept. Says they are going to introduce a new era, but are they? Are they? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to remain hopeful, but the last movie was so bad, man. I can only be so hopeful. Yeah, they played the ad. It's a United Nations ad where they had, like, all the world's nations leaders, like, in the UN Senate, right? And they had a dinosaur give a speech to the UN Senate, and they were like, you guys don't want to go extinct like we did, right? I'm sorry, I remember watching that ad, and I'm just like, the fuck? Sorry. I'm still not over it. Because I was all I could think about the whole movie. But anyway, we'll see how this works out with more sequels to the franchise. Anyone else looking forward to more Jurassic World movies, or are you guys just done with this? Okay, Miss Player is surprised that they're going to keep going. Interesting. Blue Gecko Nerd says there is no reason to fight. What do you mean, no reason to fight? Prototype says, I want a new franchise from the point of view of the dinosaurs. I want them to eat all the humans. Well, that would be interesting. Point of view of the T-Rex? I mean, it'd be something new at least. Are people fighting in my chat? What's going on? Andy says Jurassic franchise is repetitive. Yeah, I mean, I think the only good Jurassic World movie is the first one. And I mean the very, very first Jurassic Park movie with, like, the OG cast and Spielberg. It's called Jurassic Locust. Please stop. Please stop. Please, I don't want to see a single locust in this movie. Just not one. Not one. Detective Pikachu brought up, I don't mind that, like, I believe climate change is real. That was not my issue. My issue was more just like, I just now have to face the grim mortality of my own species as I try to forget that I just watched an ad from the United Nations about it. As I try to enjoy this dinosaur movie, as a dinosaur just told me we might go extinct. Yeah, I don't know. It was just... It was a vibe for me, at least. It was just, it did not hit me right. Andrew Pereira, thank you again so much for the super chat. The problem I have with the World franchise is they try to have an eco-friendly message, but if you have cloning tech, who cares if animals go extinct? Angel, you're so right. And that is just a list of plot holes and things that don't make a lick of sense in that movie. I could go on. Anyway, it was a bizarre ad. Moving on to the next topic. So I just thought this was pretty interesting. There's a book coming out talking about the style of Barbie, and I really love the image. They make it look like Margot Robbie is a doll in a box here, and I just like how they have everything spread out. I don't know, man. I love the fashion. I love everything they had Margot wear during the tour. I just really like this book cover. Love that the Barbie train isn't stopping. Just thought it was really cool, interesting idea. Would anyone be interested in this book, learning about the Barbie press tour and more about how she's recreated these Barbie costumes? Because I guess that's what the book is going to be on. Because, you know, as Margot's been going out to all these events and even the award shows, she's been recreating and copying all of Barbie's most iconic looks. So I guess that's what this book is going to be on. Anyone interested in this? Again, just thought it was kind of a cool cover. Looks like an operating room. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Gives Dexter vibes a little bit. Just a bit. Oh, okay, I guess someone's not a Gucci fan. And he says, was the Barbie movie not against this? I mean, you have points. Although Barbie appreciated fashion, so I don't know. But anyway, I just had to show this with you. Moving on. So now let's talk about Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast is making moves and it's looking like he's looking to join Hollywood, but it's very interesting because listen to this. Mr. Beast is closing a deal to have a TV show greenlit for Prime Video. The deal is worth $100 million, y'all. $100 million for Mr. Beast. And the first episode will actually air on his YouTube channel, and then it will go on Prime Video. I mean, I think this is really clever. Mr. Beast's videos get tens of millions of views. I mean, like, he gets so many freaking views. Like, I feel like everyone watches his videos, essentially. So it makes sense, but I mean, I don't think we've ever seen this sort of release strategy before where a streaming series debuts their first episode on a YouTuber's channel, and then you gotta watch the rest of the season on the streaming service, because that's what they're doing here. I mean, it makes sense. Mr. Beast gets, it'll probably get 30 million views, this video, conservatively. And then I guess Prime Video is hoping those same 30 million people will then travel to Prime Video and watch the rest there. But this makes a lot of sense. I wonder if Hollywood's going to experiment more with release strategies with YouTubers and different kinds of outlets, because I really think that they should. I think this is very smart and a good way to adapt to modern times. What do you guys think about this? Prototype says, I have no idea why Mr. Beast is so popular. I'm not throwing shade, I just don't understand. I think his videos are, I can say as a content creator, I can tell when I watch his videos that they're edited in a way to be highly engaging. And every few seconds he's always throwing something in there. And I think his audience is primarily young kids. So I think for them it's the equivalent of watching, I don't know, some cartoon or something. Because they're very bright, very loud, very quickly edited and fast paced. I can see why kids would be into it. Shelly Lee says, what does he do? Well, right now he's been doing lots of philanthropy. He's been there was one recently where he gave a bunch of deaf kids cochlear implants so that they could hear. There was a new video I saw where he built an entire village for people. I mean, he does some good stuff. I can't lie. He rubs people the wrong way, though, because he likes to film all the good stuff that he does. But, I mean, I don't know how else he's supposed to make money to do the good stuff, so I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22. But anyway, I just think this is very interesting because this is definitely a new release strategy for Hollywood here, and I'm curious to see how it works for them. Oh, Daniel Lynn says it's a waste of money. This won't make it back. But his videos make so much money, though. I can see not most people who watched the first episode on his channel not going over to the streaming service, but I still think a fair number probably will. I think this experiment will be successful. He wasn't the first. He's definitely not the first. High Top Fade says, this might be an example of major studios learning how YouTube is more successful than they are. That's why I think it's so interesting, because we've been talking about how YouTube is kind of taking over the entertainment space and how, YouTube, everyone's watching YouTube now and less of Hollywood content. I think this is how Hollywood is trying to dip their toe into the YouTube space, and I think it's really smart. Oh, Shelly Lee is Googling him now. Shelly Lee, just look up his YouTube channel. You will see how many views his videos get, and you will understand why they're doing this. Primal says, oh wait, I think I understand why he records his good deeds. It's a plan. Well, I mean, he makes a lot of money off of it, so. Aw, thank you, Cheetah Viper. That's so nice of you. But anyway, I just thought I'd update you guys because I think the whole YouTube space is really interesting right now. I think YouTube's kind of eating Hollywood's lunch, and maybe they're finally taking notice. So, curious to see how this develops. Now, moving on, another show from our childhood, or at least my childhood, that's coming back is Fairly Odd Parents. Did not expect this show to be coming back at all, but apparently a reboot is in the works for Netflix, not Paramount, which is interesting. The series will follow Wanda and Cosmo coming out of retirement to grant wishes for Hazel, a 10-year-old girl who has moved to Dimadelphia. So it doesn't seem like we're going to be focusing on Timmy anymore. Seems like Timmy is probably grown up already. And Wanda and Cosmo are coming out of retirement to be the new godparents of a new kid. So, I don't know. I don't have any kids, obviously, but this show was super huge when I was a kid. I loved it so much. It was really smart, really well written. I might be curious enough even to watch the first episode just to be curious about it. Anyone else interested in this show? Did anyone else watch the show growing up? Anyone else? I'm very curious to see if you guys are did you guys watch the show at all? Okay, Daniel used to like Fairly Odd Parents. Okay. Cheetah Viper says, I got my kids to brush their teeth from the song Shiny Teeth and Me. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good way to get your kids to clean their teeth. Phineas and Ferb movie, I feel like is going to happen any day now. Apparently there's going to be a Danny Phantom show. I think we talked about that in the last live stream, so maybe we are going to get something with Danny Phantom. I'm very, very curious to see what else, other things from the 2000s, what other popular kids shows from the 2000s gets a reboot, because it seems like that's what they're tackling now, that decade. I have a feeling a whole bunch more shows from that era are about to make a comeback, so let's just see. We've got, of course, we had iCarly, that was one of the first, and then now we've got recent news of the Wizards of Waverly Place show. Now we've got this Fairly Odd Parents show. So yeah, all these shows from the 2000s coming back for sure. Nostalgia around, exactly. I guess they realized they couldn't milk 80s and 90s nostalgia forever, so now they're on to the 2000s. I wonder where they're going to make it to the 2010s. But how are they going to even milk 2010s nostalgia when the 2010s was just a bunch of remakes from stuff from the 80s? How are they going to bring around 2010s nostalgia? Is it just going to be superhero movies? Because that's pretty much all people watched in the 2010s, right? Interesting. That'll be very curious to see how that all plays out in the future. But anyway, moving to the next topic. So we still don't know what the cast is for Fantastic Four, but it does sound like we're going to find out the cast pretty soon. Apparently, according to rumors, the cast announcement for Fantastic Four is imminent, so I'm very excited to see who we're going to get. There have been a lot of rumors about who's going to be who. There's been rumors that Pedro Pascal could be Reed Richards, that we already have a Sue Storm with Vanessa Kirby. Sorry. And there's another rumor that Ebon Moss-Barack from The Bear could be playing the Thing. And when someone asked him about it, he said this: I can't confirm and I can't deny, I think. Now, this could mean nothing, but I think this is Marvel speak for I'm not allowed to talk about it, so that makes me a little bit suspicious. Again, we're probably going to get the casting announcement soon enough, but there were rumors about him being cast, so I can kind of see him in this role, not going to lie. I can kind of see him as a Thing. Very curious to see if this is who they go with. Anyone curious? Anyone have any thoughts on who they should cast in the Fantastic Four? Do you like this casting at all? Oh, you hope the Reed doesn't quit. Yeah, I mean, they've been having a really hard time casting this movie because it seems like all their actors for Reed Richards keep wanting to quit, or they want more money, or they want to be the lead. Yeah, there's been a lot of issues. Oh, Scorpio Shadow says you feel like Fantastic Four is going to be a canceled project. I think it's going to come out. I don't think it's going to be one of the ones that's canceled. I think it'll definitely come out, but I don't know how successful it's going to be. We'll have to see. Miss Blair says, when I think of current MCU Fantastic Four, I'm thinking of Four-Stick cast. Yeah, the Four-Stick movie was really bad. They're going to have a hard time washing that taste out of people's mouths. Oh, Charity Moon says, I don't know why they're still trying with this movie. It never works. Well, the MCU has never tried with Fantastic Four, so I guess that's why they're thinking maybe third time will be the charm. But yeah, if the MCU can't even get it right this time, and it will be the third time, then maybe the Fantastic Four is just too hard to adapt or something. I don't know. Okay, Helixir, do you just want B-list actors for this movie? Honestly, I think they're going for at least some big names, like Pedro Pascal, obviously, because I think Marvel thinks they need star power to sell their movies now, so I think you're going to get at least one well-known person on the cast. Okay, I'm honestly over the MCU. Yes, the feeling I'm getting from most of you guys. But I think out of all their upcoming projects, this is one of those few projects I feel like could still do well, because there's at least some interest in it. So I'm very curious to see how this does. Moving on. So this is pretty crummy. And I had to share with you guys because I just could not believe this was true. But you guys remember when I told you in The Flash they had a bunch of CGI AI cameos that they brought like dead actors back to life for in the third act of The Flash? Well, naively, I assumed that they would have at least got the permission of the family before they brought back these dead actors, but apparently they didn't, because they never asked or even talked to the family of Christopher Reeves before they used his image in the movie. Listen to this. Christopher Reeves' family says they did not have any involvement in his CGI cameo in The Flash, and they haven't watched the film. Well, I'm not surprised they haven't watched the film, because how disrespectful. I mean, on top of bringing back dead actors, you didn't even ask the family if it was okay? You just did it? I mean, how crummy is that? How crummy is that? I can't believe it. Like, that's why we just had the entire strike. Now, thankfully, in the strike, I believe for SAG, they said that when the actor dies, you do have to at least get permission from the estate. So I think now that the strikes have passed, they couldn't do this anymore. But the fact that the studios were willing to do this at all, I'm just so glad that SAG at least did get that one win during the strike, because that is terrifying. It is very weird. Very, very weird. And the CGI was so bad. He looked so weird and uncanny, too. Like, they made him look bad. Yeah, it is very low of WB. Andy says, but I thought the director said it was supposed to look like that. I'm sure the director was saying whatever he could to make himself look good. Doesn't mean what he said was true. I know. It is a disgusting movie. The movie just looked terrible. Like, visually terrible. Yeah, SAG did screw voice actors over. I'm talking about the fact that they at least have it in as part of their AI provisions now that when an actor dies, you do have to get permission from their estate first. That was not put into place when this movie came out. So that's what I'm saying. That's at least changed now because of the strikes. And if they hadn't got that provision in the strikes, then obviously that means the studios weren't going to ask permission at all, because that's what they were doing. But anyway, I do have WTF news. I do want to share WTF news because I know you guys like it. So here's my WTF news. It's about Christopher Nolan, who gets more and more posh and uppity every day. I kind of love it. But apparently Robert Downey Jr. says Christopher Nolan doesn't even really like it when you go to the bathroom, but he understands you have to do it. Does Christopher Nolan think he's too posh and too good to go to the bathroom? Is that what he's trying to say here? Apparently, Robert Downey Jr. asked him, dude, when do you go? And he said 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. And I was like, are you effing with me? So apparently Christopher Nolan, if he was being truthful here, is so posh, so regimented, so disciplined, so just uppity that he's like, I only go to the bathroom at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Like, he has it timed. Like, I only go when I gotta go. My bowels do not control me. I really hope this is actually true, and he was just not pulling his leg, because I think this is hilarious. And also so Christopher Nolan. Like, this is so Christopher Nolan. I believe it. I really do. This is the same director that doesn't allow people to sit down on his sets. Like, I totally believe him when he says this. Does anyone else, does this surprise anybody? Because this doesn't surprise me at all. This is very weird, yeah. Twilight Traveler says, us? What do you mean, us? Who's us? I'm glad you guys thought this was pretty funny. I did too. This part here, though, the part where he says he doesn't really like going to the bathroom, but he understands he has to. Like, what? What? Who says that? But anyway, I just thought that was pretty funny and I had to share. So that was all the news topics that I had to share with you guys today. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. I'll answer a few more questions. It could be about anything. It could be about the channel. It could be about any of the topics that we talked about today. So I'll just ask or answer a few more questions from the chat, and then that'll be it for today. And I will see you guys on Wednesday at 4. Oh no, now we're sharing our pooping schedules. TMI, y'all. TMI. Bye, Scorpio Shadow. I guess he thinks he has better things to do with his time than go number 2. I don't know. Oh my god, Primal says in the movie Tenet, his shit flows backwards. Y'all are too funny. Yep, 6 p.m. and not a minute later. He's very regimented. He's very disciplined. You don't understand. I have not watched Has-Been Hotel, no. Helixir says, I've been into Netflix documentaries. Have you seen any interesting ones? I don't usually watch Netflix documentaries, I'm not gonna lie. I should probably watch more of them. I don't really watch, like, true crime detective type stuff. Maybe I should get into it. The sharpness of that answer, right? Like, he had that answer ready to go. Arvin says, have you watched SNL with Renee Rapp and Rachel McAdams? Yes, I did. I really liked Renee's and Megan Thee Stallion's performance. That's the one I watched. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was nice that Rachel McAdams actually showed up for Renee. She seems to, like, not really want to be associated with Mean Girls, so it's nice that she at least showed up for Renee. Maybe she was just thinking, oh, SNL, that's my, that's up to my caliber. Because apparently the reason why she didn't want to be in the Mean Girls commercial was because she was like, I don't want to be in a commercial. She thought she was too good for that, but I guess she didn't think she was too good for SNL. But anyway, I mean, maybe she is too good for a commercial. I don't know. But that's it for today. Thank you all for coming to my show. I appreciate you guys. Again, I will come back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate the love and support.